Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So it's been a minute since I uploaded anything to YouTube, but I thought this time I should get in front of the camera and finally get this done. Now I know I titled this video, What's in my camera bag for 2020, but first we're going to do a little bit of a rewind and go back to a Sony event that I was invited to at the end of last year with a couple of friends of mine. And I'm going to show you what we did there and talk about some of the stuff as to why I'm a Sony user. So let's roll that and I will talk to you guys soon. Yo, what's good guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're doing a little bit of something different. We're going to a Sony event, which we got invited to, so that's pretty rad. So thought I'd bring you along. Let's go. Just want to say quickly, shout out to Sony for actually putting on a good meal. A lot of these things go on and you don't get a good meal, but that's good. Satisfying? You satisfied? Very.
Done it. Don't forget the glove, Ash.
It's an important aspect.
You know, can't forget that glove.
So now that I've got some perfect lighting, basically there's a couple of stations here at the Sony night showing off some of their products, like the A9 Mark II, A7R4. This station is a food station. It has wonderfully made a donut, which is down here. And we're going to shoot it on the A9, see how it comes out.
Delicious. It's making me like an alpha male.
It is.
I like the expression.
So yeah, basically what I did, it was Jed loves Ash, but I also wanted to give a little nod to my wife and her thoughts on the whole situation.
Seeing as Mr. Naden doesn't want to partake in the eating of the donut, I will eat the one he made for us. So you guys probably don't know, but I actually work like a day job apart from like the photography and doing like the videos and whatnot. But my day job is actually working at JB Hi-Fi selling cameras with these two buffoons behind me. So I'd like to introduce you to some of my best friends. Alright, so that's the end of the night. We've just finished up at the Sony event. Shout out to Sony, shout out to Dave and Maurice for having us along. Super cool night, got to try some new toys out, dream a little bit. Realize that my bank account just does not have the capability to do things that I want. But very cool nonetheless to find out some things that most people don't really know. But I guess we'll talk about that when we get back. So 2020 has been a hell of a year already, been super busy, and there's obviously a lot been going on, but I'm stoked to be in front of the camera trying to put out some actual like content that I've been wanting to do for ages. So I'm not going to go through and review anything today. Today is strictly what is in my camera bag for the year 2020. Let's start off with my main shooting camera, and that is my A7 Mark III. This thing is an absolute beast. It's a workhorse. It's been on the market for a while. If you really want to check out some reviews, you can type it into YouTube, but this thing is an absolute weapon. I love using it, and I'm looking to upgrade probably to either an R3 or an R4 depending, and then hopefully this will become my main video camera. It's probably the best like multi-purpose camera on the market in my opinion. So the next thing in my camera bag is my backup body, and that's my A7R. So my A7R has been an absolute workhorse for years before I got my A7 III. I just don't use it as much. It's now just a backup photography camera if I ever really need it. Reason why I don't really utilize it too much, it doesn't have any in-body stabilization or any sort of like picture profiles for video, which is a little bit annoying. But in terms of that, it is one of those cameras that I've taken some of my favorite photos with. In terms of other cameras that I carry in my bag, I carry like my GoPro, which is the Hero 7 Black, which is awesome. I'm gonna throw up a time lapse that I did with it. So I probably don't use this camera to the absolute fullest of its capabilities, but I like the idea of doing time lapse with it. I like using it as something I can just set up and then use my other cameras. So it's pretty awesome for that. Another camera that I also keep in my bag is actually this little Sony RXO. It is a 1-inch sensor camera. Keep this in my bag for just backup video stuff. I was gonna vlog with it. It also doesn't have any stabilization, but it's pretty cool, pretty incognito. I kind of want to do it on a double rig setup, so we'll see how that goes. So in terms of lenses, what I keep in my bag, my main go-to for the last probably like almost 12 months has been my Sigma 50mm 1.4 art series. This thing is a weapon. I love the depth of field I get out of it. I just like what it produces. It's well priced for what it is, and it's an absolute beast, and I like what I get out of the Sigma range. My second most go-to lens at the moment, which is my brand new Sigma 35mm 1.4 art series. Absolutely love the art series collection. They're awesome. Their glass is like impeccable. I love the color range that I get out of it. I love how quick they are. The 35, I just needed something a little bit wider in terms of like what I shoot comparatively in the 50. This thing has been awesome. Been using it for a little bit of video, which I love. They're not stabilized lens, but with in-body stabilization, it's been great. So my third lens, which was my main go-to lens for the longest time, was the 85 1.8 Sony lens. This thing is super underrated. It's super light. So for me, I've got the 35, the 50, and the 85 as my three sort of focal points. As you can tell, I like prime lenses. I just think they're quicker. I just like having lots of depth of field. My big thing is I'm always shooting with aperture in mind. So for me, it's always trying to get the most amount of natural light in there. Finally, the last lens in my setup is actually my wide lens, my most recent pickup along with my 35, which has been my Tamron 17-28. I use this for video strictly. I don't really like shooting with it. I do shoot with it when the situation calls for it, but primarily it's my video lens. What I like about this, it's an internal zoom, so it doesn't actually change. So I have a couple of different focal points when I'm on the Weeble. In terms of video setup, for what I use for stabilization, I've got the Zhiyun Weeble. This thing has been awesome. It's super light. I can travel with it anywhere, any place. I'm not a massive video guy, but I will show you some footage utilizing the 35 1.4, the 17-28 Tamron, and footage from the Weeble and using the Weeble. And I'll throw that up here. In terms of audio, I just run a Video Mic Go. Pretty simple stuff. It's probably their most cheap, second or third cheapest mic that they have. It's nice and small, nice and compact, does the job. For anything more in depth, I actually run the Rode Mic Go wireless system with a lapel mic. Those things are super awesome, real easy to use, and they charge by USB-C, so I'm pretty psyched on that. In regards to the Sony event, it was cool to check out all their new models, which has got me thinking about obviously picking up an R3 if I can get one super cheap, or an R4 just as a main photography camera. Now something like that, like in studio shoots where I can utilize the resolution, or e-com shoots, I just really like to have that opportunity and have a full-blown video rig set up, ready to go anytime. Hopefully that gives you a little insight into what is in my bag for 2020. Hopefully we can do some upgrades and we can do another one towards the end of the year. I'm an avid fan of Sony. They always put on a good show for us. I like using their equipment. Also shout out to Sigma because like their lenses rule. Their product's awesome and I stand by it, and I just love everything that they're doing. In saying that, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, check out the other videos on the channel. Also, by the way, we dropped a new line for Hidden. If you want it, I'll leave a link in the bio. You can go check it out. And on that note, why don't you go out there, get creating, and I'll see you guys soon.